Hello, welcome back to another Size Simply Reviews. Today, we simpin' over Crocodile. This is my first Portrait of Pirates figure, statue. In this case, I'd call it a statue. So yeah, this guy's pretty new. He is part of the Portrait of Pirates Mas Maximum line. And I wanted it because it's one of the few One Piece statues, whatever, that actually got Crocodile using his devil fruit ability. So that I really like. The other one, there's a prize figure of him coming up soon too. That also, or at least out in the US, that also has him using his ability, which will be significantly cheaper than this Portrait of Pirates figure. Portrait of Pirates, this particular guy will run you, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, I think. They're not cheap. They range depending on how big and how detailed they are. I think this guy's like 250-ish, something like that. There's one coming of Doflamingo later too. That's that's 300 and something. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here to look at Crocodile. I know that we're a little close up, and that's okay. Y'all deal with my popcorn crinkles. We're a little close up. We'll deal with it, because once he comes out of his box, it won't be that bad. So I guess we'll do a turn of the box. It's a very shiny box. It's a very shiny box. You can't see the head on the box. That's okay. Maybe if I scoot it back a little. It's a big box. Anyway, like I said, box won't matter here in a second. A knife. I need a knife. Well, something to open it. I'm very sorry that I've done so many One Piece figures. I'm not sorry. Y'all think I've been doing a lot of One Piece figures? Wait till you get to the Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh geez. Okay, so this guy I just recently released for the US market. He's expensive, or a little bit more expensive. I would not recommend spending the amount of money to import him unless you absolutely have no choice. I'd like to take a moment to look at the inside of the box. The inside of the box is actually really cool too. Very, very nice setup. I would not recommend, yeah, you guys can see the back of him through the plastic right now. I wouldn't recommend importing this if you can help it, just because the shipping cost to the US on these guys is really tremendous. Because they're large and they're kind of heavy, so there's only so many box sizes they could fit in. They also, in the Japanese market, go for like $350-ish or something, and then you're paying for shipping on top of that. So you're paying above retail for this guy if you have to import it. If you can't get him somewhere else, check, eBay or whatever maybe first before going and importing him if you can find him. He's pretty secure in his box. It looks like he doesn't have a lot of the plastic wrap that you'll see in a lot of the even prize figures sometimes will come like really well wrapped, so to prevent paint scuffing. He doesn't really have a whole lot of that. The plastic for him is a lot more minimal. I hope you enjoy box opening ASMR. Well then. That worked out rather well. Yeah. Ah, look at that. What a handsome man. Yeah, let me get the knife out of the way. It's not what you're here to see. Look at that. Look at that. He's really, I mean, this is all first impressions, so, I mean, I'm looking at him just as much as you guys are. It's not like I pre-planned any of this. Again, this is my first portrait of pirates. Especially the Moss Maximum line tends to be more detailed than some of the standard portrait of pirates statues. We're gonna close investigate here. We're gonna do a nice turnaround of him all together. Man, look at that, how nice. And it's also, so these guys are soft, soft plastic. It's not a resin or anything. So I think, which is really nice for stuff like this, these, his sand bits, because that means there's a lot less probability of something breaking off or breaking in shipping or whatever than would be the case in a lot of higher scale statues. Or just, man, that's nice. Look at that. It's very dynamic, which I really like. It's very alive. And I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily know that there would be a wrong way to display him. I wouldn't want to display him necessarily from behind or on the right hand side, but you do you. So we've got some really great detail. The sand particles are really well sculpted. Okay, we're zoomed in here. You guys can see more of this detail that I'm talking about with the sculpt on the sand. I mean, we get some really, really lovely detail work here. I really like the way the ridges cut off here with the pants the whole way. And I mean, even in his back, I mean, just look here up onto his back itself. It's really just, let me, that's not going to work. Really, really well detailed in there. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. again, we've got, you know, the it's very seamless to me in terms of how, you know, you go from him to the sand. There are a few spots where I can very clearly see, especially on the sand, some seam lines. Let me see if I can get that in here in view for you. Yeah, so there's a few seam lines. The seam lines primarily, there's one right here that I can see. There's one right here that I can tell. You can, I think it might be a little bit easier for you guys to see this one. Yeah, you can definitely see this one. So, you know, for right here at the feet as well, that's something you might want to consider, given the fact that you're paying, you know, over $200 for this guy. It's not in areas, if you're displaying him, if you're displaying him looking forward, then I don't think that that's really going to be an issue, because they did do a pretty good job, as far as I'm concerned, with hiding those seam lines behind the figure, which is actually a very, very, very good in terms of sculpting and modeling. So those seam lines are hidden in spots that don't draw your eye to them. There's no visible seam lines anywhere on him that I can see on the front face of the figure. None. You know, we've got nothing horribly visible. I mean, obviously you can tell there is a bit of a gap here between the hand and the sleeve. Yeah, I believe you can see it. That is a gap. Again, I'm noticing it because I'm having to, you know, really detailed look at this. Otherwise, it's not something that I think I would find very distracting. Again, not a big deal to me. His face sculpt is really fantastic. There is detailing in the face itself. Let me see if we can, the light might. The light might be a little bit brighter than I want it to be. There's vein work that's very, very hard to see, I think, here. If I drag him closer, y'all can see it. The veins and the wrinkles on the face are really well done. There's a little bit of work done on the hair as well. I really like the extra strand. I like the cigar. Yeah, the hands look really great. The fingernails are all individually painted. A lot of the paint application for this, I apologize for the sound going in and out. It's because I'm sitting away from my mic so I have to set it down. The paint on the nails the fingernails are individually painted. A lot of the paint is a gloss or a metallic paint. All of the sand has a metallic sheen on it, which does really great, if you can't tell, for catching the light. You can kind of see where that will happen from time to time, which is, again, really great, the way it catches the light. The same, how well his hook catches the light. Same with his shoes. His shoes are also gloss painted. And I really do enjoy this touch with the sand on his shoes as well. They're not perfectly clean. Which I really, really think that's a nice paint touch. We've got a lot of the, his coat is fantastic. It's also metallic painted. You can clearly see the catch. Again, we've got this kind of nice airbrush transition into the more sandy color, as opposed to the nice clean. I guess this is sort of like a brownish color. I'm not sure. It's a couple of blends of colors, but it gives off a brown. He's great. Again, this paint job really brings in the character to the figure. And his face, I love his face. Just that smirk. You can't beat that good old Crocodile smile, with his classic cigar. Overall, I really like him. He's large. He's going to be. He's not. We're maybe 1/8 scale territory here or something, but I would like to say that is arguable. Scale varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. I'm not entirely certain what scale he is in. However, I would probably put him closer, maybe to 1/8, maybe 1/7, maybe in scale. Still, I like him for my very first Portrait of Pirates. Yeah, so, all right. This has been my Simply review. I simp for it. We'll give it a nice simp. Definitely. This makes me excited for my Doflamingo that eventually will make its way around. I don't think he's supposed to come out until summer, though, at the earliest. And I think he's bigger and definitely more detailed. So I'm excited to see him. I'll throw a picture of him up, probably, of the Doflamingo. Anyway, so thank you for coming to another of Sai's Simply reviews. Thank you for coming to my first higher quality video, maybe. And also a nice higher scale figure, statue, whatever you want to call him. Anyway, if you have questions, concerns, comments, if you like it, leave a like. If you don't like it, well, whatever. I guess you just don't like it. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.